I've kind of been facilitating their ideas, you know. There's been an element of creation in terms of, like, you know, sitting down, actually creating loops and creating grooves that they want to play to. But but it's facilitating their ideas. Obviously, as a producer, you always have a creative input, and you know, you create as well. So there's an element of you, but it's guided by, well, you know, or you guide the people's expression. But yeah.
Yeah, I think it's quite a new approach to pop music, especially the composition side of it. I mean, there's always been newly composed pipe tunes, but I think in terms of a piece involving other instruments or 10 pipes, it's quite a unique thing. I think there's not. I would say it's kind of new ground for the instrument, really. The piece I've written is the title is "The Plough on the Crossbeam," and the theme of that piece really is to do with the land struggles. I mean, historically, going back to the clearances, but also bringing it up to the present day, when there's been community land buyouts.
Everyone involved in this group is, you know, they're already thinking in a contemporary way musically. So I've written a piece called Homebird, and the idea behind that is really the notion of not just having a home or wanting to be at home in a place, but the travel to get there. And I don't just mean a physical place either, I mean psychologically, a feeling of being home or wanting to get to that place that feels like home.
And I was trying to think of big music and Scotland's place in the world today. It's obviously we're part of an interconnected, globalised world, so what's happening in other parts of the world has a direct impact on what's happening here right now. And reflecting then upon the refugee crisis that's obviously been sort of taking place over the last few years. So that was kind of, I wanted to write something that was going to maybe reflect a little bit on that.
I think everyone's taken it slightly differently, but there's still a lot of influence from it. Some people have taken the theme and variations idea. Some people have written a piece that's got phrases that you'd expect to hear in Pembroke. Some people have taken themes in terms of the story of the piece and used that behind their piece as a way of putting it together.
Using the other instruments was a second thought, because I think originally it was just going to be like 10 pipers, that's it, kind of thing. But then when we were writing all these the commission pieces, I think, you know, it just allows a bit more scope when you've got a guitar and chords or whatever behind your piece to kind of give it where you think it should, give it like a hand in where it should go, I think. But like for my piece, I've just done it for 10 pipers because that's what I wanted to do. But yeah, I think it's quite interesting just writing for 10 pipers. It's quite restrictive, you know.
It's a big challenge. First of all, deciding what it is that you want to use as your, you know, inspiration for the new music. But then after that, how do you depict something that's so important to you? Which isn't the same as writing a tune. I think regularly I get ideas for tunes, but to have that concept required just, I don't know, a different level of thought for me. And I think it's been the same for everyone.
The way I've approached this piece is it's quite a difficult one to communicate. So I think the fastest way to communicate a piece is to write it all down, score the music as far as you can. Mine's in sort of conflicting time signatures, which makes it life a bit more difficult, but they're such professional musicians and can handle anything. So bringing it all together, just there's a lot of reference to the score, but then also trying things out in the room. We're very fortunate to have this space in Perthshire to spend the weekend and really dedicate the time to getting each piece as the composer desires.
It's kind of big enough space where you can just sit down. You know, you're not always given the option to record things in that way where everyone just gets to play music together in one room, and this definitely gives you that option, you know. So that was an amazing experience. Usually you just go in, you don't see people, and you put your part down and that's it, and then, you know, you hear this thing back and it's all not what it was. So I think that's a great thing, just to connect with each other.
All the composers are different and they're different musicians, and I think the best thing that people can come out with as a feeling is the understanding of each composer's mind within that piece, and for the piece to, the representation of the piece to be doing the composer's mind's justice, you know, at the gig. I think one good thing about that show is going to be how varied it is. So I think from that point of view, although some people may have pieces that are, you know, maybe more melodically straightforward than others, I think the mixture of the kind of musical landscape you're going to hear that on that gig is going to make it really, really interesting. But I think in line with the Big Music Society sort of position within piping, I think that's it's kind of bringing piping to the next level in terms of experimenting with how things are written and how they are performed. Yeah.